All right, everybody. This is Scott Golden. Thanks for tuning in. I am excited about this impromptu interview that I've got with Tommy Karlas. And life is so funny because yesterday I was just at home. It was raining in South Florida. And I get a message from Steve Kennedy. And he says, "Hey, man, share this song. It's written by a famous songwriter in Nashville, Tommy Karlas. He loves pickleball. He's going to be down in South Florida soon. And he goes, just if you could share it." So I listened to it and I thought, my goodness, this is an amazing song. First of all, I was raised in a country environment musically. Also lived in Alabama for 20 years. So country music is near and dear to my heart. So I really took to this song. I thought it was well written. And then I did a little research on Tommy, and I found out that Tommy is a famous songwriter in Nashville, Tennessee. He's been in the songwriting business and the music industry for over 20 years, and he has quite the list of accomplishments. I'm just going to read off a few. If you guys follow country music, you'll know some of these names. He is a multi-week #1 hit professional and songwriter. ASCAP Songwriter of the Year nominee with songs recorded by Blake Shelton, Randy Travis, Montgomery Gentry, and many, many more. He's also got a song that's in the top 5 most played songs of the year, and that is by Montgomery Gentry called "Roll With Me." And I think if you follow country, you've probably heard that song. So without further ado, I'm going to bring him on. Tommy Karlas, what's up, man?
Hey, man, thanks for having me, Scott.
Absolutely. So a lot of people might be tuning in and thinking, why in the world is Scott interviewing a famous country music songwriter and singer on his pickleball show? And the answer to that is simple. About a year ago, if I'm correct, you and your buddy Steve Perdue found pickleball and kind of fell in love. Go ahead and tell everybody your backstory with that.
Yeah, well, Steve had played it before in high school. I'd never played it, and he asked me to get out there last summer, and we started playing solo, just one-on-one. And we were going down to Centennial Sportsplex in Nashville, and probably about 4 months into it, we ran into this guy that started talking to us, and somebody else came up and said, "Hey, do you know that's Steve Kennedy? That's one of the best pickleball players in the country." And so we kind of started talking to him, and I gave Steve Kennedy my advanced copy of my album that's coming out later this year, and he fell in love with it, and he started texting me, and he said, "Hey, man, will you try to write a pickleball song?" And honestly, I was hesitant because it's pretty hard to do without making it cheesy, but I tried it one night, and it came out pretty good, and everybody seems to like it, and the rest is history. We pretty much, and Steve Perdue and I started playing doubles, so we've got into that, and that's why we're coming down there in July.
Very cool. So I noticed that Steve Perdue, when he posted about you writing the song, he said it needs a name. Have you come up with a name for that song yet? Because I know when I looked yesterday, he kind of said that, but maybe you've come up with something.
Well, for right now, we're just calling it the Pickleball Song.
Okay,
But
cool,
if
cool.
somebody has something better, that'd be great.
Yeah, and I think the pickleball community is really a unique community of people, a great community of people actually. And so somebody might come up with a name that helps with that. But I love the pickleball song. You're not the first to write a song about pickleball. However, you're the first one, in my opinion, that has written one that doesn't sound cheesy and corny. And the name pickleball is not exactly easy to rhyme with and write a song about. So congratulations on that. You did a phenomenal job.
Thanks, man.
And then and so for anybody that hasn't heard the song, I see you've got the guitar. This is kind of impromptu. We just met yesterday unofficially, and then today more officially. I would be interested to see if you'd be willing to sing that song and play that song for everybody live right now on the show.
Yeah, I haven't really done it out yet, so we'll give it a shot for you if y'all want to hear it.
Awesome.
Picking up that paddle, hold it up chest high, wait until I serve it up, then hurry to the line. Gonna have a good time, come win or defeat. stay out of the kitchen, son. If you can't stand the heat, pickleball, pickleball. You hurry up and serve them up, y'all. Bring a friend, smash a man, have a leave, fun, come win, lose your draw. Pickleball. And say I need an intervention. Truth be told, deep down I know I got a drinking problem. Pickleball, pickleball. You hurry up and serve them up, y'all. Bring a friend, smash a man, have a little fun and come win, lose your draw. Pickleball. Think if you got smash your ATP. If you wanna know just how it's done, watch Steve Kennedy. Pickleball, pickleball. You hurry up and serve them up, y'all. Bring a friend, smash a man, have a little fun, come win, lose your draw. Pickleball, 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 pickleball. Something like that.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about, buddy. That's good stuff. Tommy, when you sit down to write something like that, obviously you have a lot of experience. Uh-oh, we might have lost him there. There you go. There's Tommy.
There you go.
I don't know if you could hear me, but when you sit down to write something like that about pickleball, obviously you have an extensive background in writing songs. How do you draw inspiration for that song? Did you have any type of mindset going in, or did you just sit down in front of a blank piece of paper and just start writing and it came to you?
You know what? I just grabbed the guitar and I started singing pickleball with it, and just trying to find a cool way that was kind of rocking and fun. And that's kind of all the direction that Steve Kennedy gave me. And then the rest of it was just telling the story about Steve and telling the story about pickleball. So if somebody didn't play pickleball, they would kind of have an idea of what it is and what's happening.
Yeah, definitely. And you've played enough pickleball, I guess, to have been bitten by what we call the pickleball bug. I know you're a busy guy. Have you found any time to try to practice and prepare for the tournament in July? Because I know you're coming down, and you and Steve Perdue are going to be playing in Steve Kennedy's tournament, correct?
Yeah, we're gonna play in the men's double, I think, on that Sunday. Yeah, Steve actually just bought a net, and we found a couple places around here that have the lines already drawn out. So we've been going out there every morning and just trying to get better and doing drills and the stuff that makes you better.
Absolutely. So I've been to those courts in Franklin, Tennessee. I think you mentioned it to me on the phone. I think the city of Franklin built four or six dedicated courts right there. Have you had a chance to play on those at all?
No, we started in the winter back in November. We started playing at TOA and through Music City Pickleball, and we basically went and played there every day. Their hours kind of changed for the summer, and we were just wanting to get outside and get used to the heat anyway, since we're going to be in Miami, because I believe the tournament is outside, right?
It is outside. It's going to be, I think, in Davie, Florida, which is just north of Fort Lauderdale and Miami. So,
yeah, so we wanted to kind of get used to being outside and being in the heat, and because it is a little bit of a different game inside and outside. So we just kind of wanted to start getting used to that. We're playing with the same ball that Kennedy's going to use in the tournament. So.
very cool. So let's jump off of the pickleball subject for a second and take us back 20 years ago. You were 19 years old, is what you told me. You moved from the St. Louis, Missouri, Collinsville, Illinois area to Nashville to pursue a career in songwriting and singing in country. take us back to that time and just kind of fill us in for the last 20 years.
Yeah, so when I was 14, I went to this famous place here in Nashville. It's a little hole in the wall called the Bluebird Cafe. And I heard some country music songwriters, famous ones like Dean Dillon and Gary Burr and Skip Ewing. And I fell in love with it, and I started sending my songs to Nashville over those 5 years, making a plan to move here when I was 19. I expected to get my first publishing deal hopefully within 5 to 7 years. That was kind of the typical time frame. And I ended up meeting my first publisher here, my first week here, and they offered me a deal. And I pretty much have been writing full time professionally ever since. And I've had a few. My first cut was with Randy Travis. Some of y'all might know him. He's a classic country singer, and had stuff with Blake Shelton, like you said. And Montgomery Gentry was my first big hit that I had that was #1.
For anybody that doesn't know how the songwriting type of thing works, do you work independently on your own and then submit a song to a specific artist? And I'm actually asking out of curiosity for myself as well. Or do you collaborate with that artist like from the beginning and up front, and they know that you're doing that? Do you know what I'm asking there? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So basically, country's always been about recording the best songs. It has changed a little bit as far as like there's a lot more people that write their own songs. But as far as my profession, you usually have a publisher, and your publisher gives you money to live off of, and they pay for your demos. And we have these things called tip sheets. So it'll say like Tim McGraw or Kenny Chesney or whoever is looking for this type of song, an up tempo or whatever, and we'll try to write those kind of songs and then get them to their label or to the artist or whoever. And then the other way is to actually start writing with these artists too whenever they're younger and kind of help them write the song.
Okay, very cool. Because from what I can understand about that industry, it's one thing to be able to sing, but it's a whole different ballgame to be able to write songs. So I think that's a special talent. I don't think that everybody can naturally do that. So I think you've got a special skill set because for you to be able to spend 20 years in that industry, you've got to be doing something right. And obviously, the fruits of your hard work has been writing songs for those famous names like Blake Shelton and Montgomery Gentry and all those guys. But you obviously enjoy activities and stuff. So, did you play any other sports growing up outside of just, or has music been your life and pretty much your focus for the last 20 years?
No, I played football and baseball growing up. I actually kind of started getting away from that in high school because my music kind of started taking off. And I pretty much, just played like golf for years and tennis every now and then. So to find pickleball and how fast it's growing, and it's a great sport for exercise when you don't even know that you're getting it. I mean, I burn way more calories than if I'm going out for a jog. And it's one of those sports too that, from my experience, doesn't really discriminate. So many people, I mean, I've seen people who have very little mobility go play it and beat really good players just because they're playing with smart technique.
Yeah, no, that's one of the most appealing things about the sport is you can be, 9 years old, like a kid named Leo Chun that just joined our sport, all the way up to I was streamed back in 2017. I streamed two 90-year-olds. One was actually 92, one was 90, playing singles at the senior games in Birmingham, Alabama. So it runs the gamut. And I think it's one of those unique sports where the demographic literally is unlimited to the amount of people that it can appeal to. I came from a flag football background. Like as an adult, I like to stay active. I like to be doing stuff. And when I found pickleball, I was playing competitive flag football with a demographic of like 17 to like 25 years old. And you wouldn't find 50 plus typically playing with us. But this has opened me up to a whole new world of people that I never really would have hung out with or gotten to know that much if it wasn't for pickleball. So I'm very thankful for that. And it's also allowed me the opportunity to travel all over the country. And now in September, I'm going to be going to the Czech Republic to help promote the sport there. So it's pretty cool.
Do you find it's pretty fast growing everywhere that you go?
Absolutely. So I can give you some quick examples. My family 5 years ago when I started playing, thought I was crazy. They didn't know what the sport was. They really thought, oh, Scott's just getting into something else again, whatever. And they didn't pay much attention. And then fast forward 5 years up to today, they are big believers now, as I've got my own signature paddle in Dick's Sporting Goods, and get to travel all over the country and pro commentary for the PPA tour. So they have seen the growth, and everywhere I go, it seems to be that way. And I've got old friends who I didn't even talk to about pickleball. I haven't mentioned it to them. They've just maybe seen what I'm doing, and they're now reaching out to me saying, "Hey, can I get a paddle? Can you teach me how to play?" and this and that. So 5 years ago, that wasn't the case. People weren't asking me really. So yeah, it's been huge with the growth.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's an endearing game. It's fun, and it takes a long time to kind of you can never stop getting better at it, basically.
Yeah, and we laughed about this on the phone, but like I find myself waking up even 5 years into this journey, wanting to find out where the pickleball is at, and wanting to go play, and every day I feel like, oh man, my body needs to take a rest. I need to relax, and then I wake up the next day like, all right, let's do this. Let's go find some pickleball. So, do you find yourself getting more and more excited to go play and that kind of thing? I mean, it's addicting.
I do. It is definitely addicting. My buddy Steve Purdue. Well, it's funny. We played, like I said, we played singles, and then we switched to doubles. And doubles is a completely different game. It's just completely different. And yeah, the better that you get, like anything else, the more you want to do it, and the better you want to keep on getting. But we just try to have fun with it first and foremost, and then get a little exercise along with it. And this is going to be both mine and Steve Purdue's first tournament, so we're kind of excited to see how we do.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll be excited if to see if you can get some of the famous country music people in the industry to maybe pick up the game. Who knows? You never know when somebody. I know Kid Rock plays. Kid Rock built a court at his house. I know he's playing. I just met a former NBA player that played for the Raptors and played college basketball at Florida State University. Solomon Alibi. He is obsessed with it too. He told me in the airport in Denver on Monday, he said, "You'll see me on the tournament scene soon." He goes, "I'm obsessed with it." And he lives out in Seattle, Washington, which is actually close to where the sport was invented 50 years ago. So pretty neat.
I'll be dang.
Yeah. Any chance you can get your girlfriend to start playing? Is she somebody that likes sports or no?
She is. We've started. I've started to give her lessons, and it's actually been fun. It's gone well. She lives in Birmingham actually too right now. You mentioned you're from there, or you live there?
I lived there for 20 years. Yep, just south of Birmingham in like the Hoover, Pelham area. So
okay,
where is she from?
Montgomery originally, and then she moved to Birmingham, and she's been in Birmingham. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, so there's a ton of pickleball in Birmingham. If she goes back to visit, tell her to go see Herdmont Park in Oak Mountain. They've got courts in Montgomery. They've got courts in Trussville, Hoover, Pelham. I mean, it's all over now. Actually, Helena, Alabama, where my parents are from. So she's got plenty of options there.
Cool. Good to know. I'll tell her.
Yeah, definitely. Well, man, I appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I did want to allow people to get to know you in the pickleball community. If you're playing, guys, if you're playing in Steve Kennedy's tournament in July, you will see Tommy there. Tommy, what did Steve ask you to do other than play? I think he asked you also to do some stuff on Friday night. Is that right? Like maybe play for everybody?
Yeah, we're gonna do a show right around the middle of dinner or right after dinner for the first responders night, basically. So it's on that Friday night. I think I'll probably start playing around 6:30 or 7.
Very cool. Well, I personally am excited to see you, man. It's good to meet you on the internet, but I look forward to shaking your hand and meeting you in person in July. I'll be down there playing in that tournament, live streaming, and I actually would love to just maybe do a session where we hit around and live stream it as well, just to get the word out that you love pickleball. So,
yeah, absolutely, man. I look forward to it, Scott.
awesome. All right, Tommy, I'm gonna let you get back to your day. Thanks so much for your time. And we'll see you here in just a couple weeks.
You got it. Thanks, Scott.
All right, buddy. Bye. All right, guys, that's Tommy Karlas. if you are interested in listening to that song, it's been put out there on social media. You can check my page. I shared it. Steve Perdue is the one that originally, I think, shared it. But the other thing is, he was talking about maybe making like a whole album around that song. So if you've got any ideas for a name, he said they were calling it the Pickleball Song right now. But if you have any interest or anything that you would love to help with that, he said he's open to some of that. But yeah, pretty cool. I didn't want to take much of his time. We spent about 20 minutes right there on the interview. But what a great guy. He's going to be down in Davie, Florida for Steve Kennedy's tournament. Greg Mattis is also another guy that's heavily involved. So sign up. It's getting full. Registration is getting full. It's on pickleballtournaments.com. Also, if you are traveling like I do a lot, make sure you go to Pickle Play app. Download the Pickle Play app on your Android or iPhone and add courts wherever you go. So you can find courts, you can connect with local people wherever you're at, but also there's a big push right now from them to have people adding new courts, because new courts are popping up all around the country. So make sure that you're doing that. I appreciate all the help with that, guys, and I know they do too. Again, that was Tommy Karlas, famous songwriter and singer in Nashville, now gung-ho about some pickleball. He wrote a song. He's coming down to Davie. Very excited about meeting him. So we'll talk to you guys later. Have a great one.